No, I wore some old clothes, but I did wear a face mask and disposable gloves. And I threw the Hoover away after.
Oh,
I threw the vacuum away. Yeah, it was really the smell is something that I will never ever forget.
Oh, there was a gulp there.
Hello, welcome to the 24th Cars Rule Everything Around Me podcast with myself, Will Chandler, Edwin to the right of me now.
That's
you've
weird.
always been to the right of me, but
That's
you're much
kinda
closer
true,
to
yeah.
me now. Behind the camera, Ben. And then, to our right, our first ever guest, we've got Robin.
Hello.
From Viking Buckley and Detailing. From Viking
Come on, man.
Detailing. Our first ever guest. We're very, very pleased to have you along. We've had you a few times on the channel, and you have nice stories, and you're quite funny.
Thank you.
So we thought, well,
All right, don't back him up too much.
Yeah. I was actually talking about Ben.
Yeah, funny looking.
We always start this podcast by seeing if cars rule everything around us or ruin everything around us. Let's start with you, Robin.
Rule.
Ooh,
100%.
You know
rule.
what? I think that might be the only one of the week. Let's have a
Oh
look.
dear. Well, because I've bought myself my last ever, and I'm not going to buy another one because I keep doing it, an MG ZS 180.
Now, when you say your last one, most people might buy one car. They perhaps like you with your U92. You buy it,
Might
you
buy
enjoy
two or
it,
three.
you sell it, and you go, I want another one.
Yeah.
How many of those have you owned?
15.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's the thing? What's the thought process behind? Like every time, is it? Oh, I shouldn't have sold that one.
I buy one, and then I find rust, and then I fix it, and I go, wow, this is great. And then I get in trouble in it, and then I sell it because I get scared.
Is it not like amnesia or something? Do you?
No, I just had it.
You
Yeah.
wake up and go, God, I want an MG.
I'm sure I had one of
I've
those.
never had one of those. I'd like to try that car.
I'll be driving it and go, there's another one there. Wow, that looks cool. I'd love one of those.
So why this one, and why is it the last?
They're just
Have you finally realised it's just an MG?
Yeah. It's a Rover in a frock. No, I just can't afford another one because they're getting so expensive.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, they're really
I know
silly
nothing.
money now.
In my head, all Rovers and MGs are £8.60 now.
They used to be, and that's
Yeah.
why I've had so many of them, because you could just have one for a day and just go, that was nice, and then just scrap it.
So they are becoming
And now they're
desirable.
real money now, unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you got big plans with this one, right?
Yes, I want to do like a club sporty kind of build thing, so I want to do some big comfy bucket seats and BC
Cobra
collars
Nagaros?
and- I mean,
What are
I'm
you
not
thinking?
made of money.
No?
No.
What are we thinking?
Something second hand from
Oh,
eBay.
yeah, but second hand.
Second hand Nagaros, yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Come on.
Just a
Yeah.
Nagaro.
Yeah,
one.
just
Just
single.
one.
Yeah.
Just the one, yeah.
A Klarna'd one. Okay, so that's the MG. So you're a rule because buying
Because
the car,
I bought a car, yes.
and it's how you hoped it would be.
It's better than I thought it would be.
Now, as a detailer, because I saw you post it on your story
Yeah.
that you bought the car. Do you get it home and detail it?
Oh, I got home straight away and cleaned it, yeah.
Because I saw it sitting on.
I was itching driving it home. I was just looking at all the dust on the dashboard. I can't stand it. And it'd been parked up for months.
You did it while you're driving, just with one hand clean the dashboard.
I have actually had quick detailer in the car and just like cleaned the dashboard whilst I've been sat in traffic before.
The DA on the bonnet.
out the window.
It's like, oh shit, the light's gone green. Right, I'll pack it away. Second.
So that's a rule. So I
It's
think
a rule
should
for me.
we get onto the car history and stuff later?
We'll get onto that later.
But
We'll quickly go
overall
over
a
our-
rule.
our rules and ruins.
The addiction.
Let's kick it over to Ben.
Hello.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Ben.
It's going to be a ruin today.
Oh,
And it's because I got my first ever parking ticket this week.
yes.
And it's tough. Tough.
No?
Car was fine. I just got back from actually filming this last podcast we did last week.
Now,
Got back
Ben,
like 11:30 p.m. Parked my car innocently.
You parked the car on double yellow, so like it
Well,
was clearly on a double
yeah,
yellow.
you know, an inch of my car was. That was good. And then the parking attendant next morning went, you know what? Yeah, I think we're going to make you pay £80 for that.
Well, now where was the yellow line?
Under touching my rear wheel ever so
So-
slightly.
So you were parked on it.
No.
So because like the wheel was on the yellow line.
Okay. If I threw you in the English Channel, are you in England?
Ooh, that's
No.
It's quite a scale there.
Yeah, that's quite.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well,
It's sort of scaling up to the sort of miles
No, I'm
scale
sorry. No.
rather than...
I
No,
don't think I call the end of a double yellow line akin to sort of international waters.
Well, so you're not in England. You're not in England.
If you said to me, if I walked in knee height and said, "Well, am I in the sea?" I'd say, "Yeah, you're in the sea."
Okay, but if you dipped your toe in a bottle cap full of water, are you in a swimming pool?
If a burglar
No, but you're still
put
wet.
just his leg into your house, is he in your house?
Do you take
his hand.
anything?
Yeah, no, you can put his hand in. You can grab stuff.
Then he's not breaking and entering. He's not in the house.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's good. All right, burglars out there. Ben lives at Number one.
You'll know because there'll be a car outside on double yellow.
With a ticket on the window.
Yeah. So that was tough.
So you're not happy about that?
No, I've informed the council. I'm not very happy about that as well.
Also, Ben told us this earlier. He was like, I've written to the council. And we were like, oh, that's awful, Ben. And then he showed Will and I the photos, and we went, you know, you were on the
You're on the
double
line.
yellow.
No, sorry. I can't actually...
Can you please tell us what you offered the council? Because that was the best part of that.
I said to the council, because only 10% of my car is on the line, I'll give you 10% of the price.
Council read that and laughed.
No, wait. It wasn't on the line.
I was a businessman doing business deals.
It's always worth a try.
Put a tariff on the council.
No, well, so, yeah, anyway, I have to pay that probably, so that's fun.
So it's a ruin.
Yeah, but also, just not really fair, is it? I've been parking there for 6 years and nothing, and then suddenly... the law comes into play.
Was waiting. He was like, let that thing go on those double yellow lights.
Yeah,
I'm going to get you.
Apart from that, though, nothing.
Yeah, Will?
I'm going to have to go with a ruin, I'm afraid. 350Z failed an MOT. My fault.
Yeah.
I didn't... the many P's... How many P's? Piss poor preparation.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about money.
Something about...
mini peas, blood.
I failed an MOT. There you go. Took it for an MOT. I thought, this is going to fly through. This is a good car.
Yeah.
I just failed on brakes.
Tough.
It did also fail on emissions. I don't know why, because actually the exhaust is actually legal.
Fine.
We joke about that stuff. Actually, genuinely legal.
Yeah. Also, didn't you say, what did they say they called you up when they were...
Oh, yeah. It also says anyone who will watch the channel can just go and search this now, which is great. It said coolant leak. I was like, well, sorry, what do you mean by that? Because it's been perfectly fine. Oh, yeah, sorry, overheated. On the test station, said like a coolant pipe popped off. I was like, can I get a bit more clarity on that if possible? So yeah, annoying. My fault. Didn't check the car over before taking it,
and now,
but now I need to fix it, get it MOT'd because I'd quite like to sell it.
Yeah, that's gone. That car now.
Yeah, gone. Well, hopefully, I just need to fix it. And
it just needs brakes and an MOT.
It's a great car. Comes with a year of MOT
and brand new fresh brakes.
Brand new fresh brakes and emissions. Now we move on to
me.
Could this be one of the biggest?
This could be. Well, actually, hold on. There's another reason why it's a ruin. Now, will they have seen this by now? Yes, they will have seen why it's the biggest ruin.
Oh, my other ruin.
Your biggest ruin.
My biggest ruin yet.
Yeah, our biggest ruin.
Our biggest ruin yet. The Jaguar XFR. We did show you this very briefly.
I did have a look at this.
How would you assess the situation? Couple, 5-word answer.
Sort of dire.
That's not gone well.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Yeah. Understatement.
Yeah,
I like
Ben,
you got one more word left, Robin. Anything you want to say? Say it for later, I reckon.
L.
Oh,
that's not gone well.
L. That's not gone well.
I like that.
The L is on the end of the well.
Yeah.
So Jaguar XFR we bought £6,500. Previously a roughly probably £100,000 car in today's money. So a bargain.
Yeah.
Car made 585 horsepower on the dyno, fresh out the box as we bought it. So
you
of
needed
course,
more.
We decided to add some more. We wanted to take it over 600. Had the supercharger out, lots of ball ache things that we had to do. Took it out for a test drive. All was good. Sounded great. Went great. 5 minutes later,
wasn't going great.
The car went. We actually heard it on camera make its final breath. It died. So the timing chain skipped. I'm going to say a tooth, but I'm going to say many teeth.
Yeah,
and I think the timing chain has been doing a little bit of a dance around the engine.
Yeah, if you're not as automotively inclined, that essentially means the thing that keeps the engine in time, the things that stops metal smashing into each other, stopped doing that. So metal said, "Hello, mate. I'll pop in and see my friend Piston."
There was no flight controller, so the planes were crashing.
Yeah.
It's basically quite bad news.
And it's game over for that engine.
Yeah,
well,
so
we believe.
We believe. I mean, maybe we take it apart and there'll be...
We'll see. We will see. So
it's just unlikely.
Yeah, Will's XFR, dead. The Merc on the left behind us. Also, Robin's choice, if you're just listening,
yes.
We usually have a retro game playing behind us, gameplay playing behind us. And Robin, we said, Robin, what do you want? You're the guest, you choose. It's Juiced 1 on PS2. Now that's a very good choice. That's a big choice.
I spent many hours of my childhood not doing schoolwork.
just doing
just
juicing.
Robin, what's this homework called? Juiced? Yeah, I'm 80% through, mate.
Yeah, I got this had a punto in it, I think.
Yeah, didn't it?
I'm pretty sure it had a punto.
Yeah. So a very good game. And then joining it is the E55 AMG wagon, which we're currently doing long tube headers on. They don't make right-hand drive long tube headers. So with hammer and, blowtorch, we're making right-hand drive headers. So that's behind us. I'm trying to put it off. I'm trying to put off talking about it.
Let's just get to it.
It's a ruin for me this week.
Okay.
I wonder why. The reason why is I've got 2 gearboxes now here next to me for the 996, not one. Because I went and bought a replacement gearbox, this one right here. We chucked all the LSD parts in it together and went for a drive in it, as you might have seen on the most recent video on the 2 Dead Centre channel, and the noise was worse. The noise was worse than it was before. And I thought, what are the odds? What are the odds that I've bought another bad gearbox? Low, but not impossible. So I went and bought another gearbox. I put that in last night, and it made the same noise.
Then my heart. We went out for the test drive. Felt like old times.
It did.
It was 911 without seats bolted in,
Just
all fogged up inside.
yeah.
Took out for a drive. I was thinking this is as hopeful as it was the first time when it first started, and then
We were talking, we were joking. I was like, yeah, it's first, it's second, oh, it's going. And I literally went, and it's good. And I had started coming from the gearbox. And I was like, oh, God, please, no. So, yes. So, the silver lining, the bad news, potentially gearbox gone. The good news is that it's making the exact same noise that this one did. And the chances of all 3 being broken are tiny. So, I feel like there must be something else wrong that can't be to do with that. So we're thinking there might be something to do with the input shaft, boring stuff, but I will be looking into it and hoping, because I'm not buying another gearbox. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
But if that is the problem,
I'm buying another gearbox.
if
then.
you find the fix, you then have 2 good gearboxes.
That would be great. So I could make some money back, because good God, I'm done spending all my money on gearboxes. So yeah, it's a mega ruin. for me.
Biggest ruin
This
yet?
could be the I think it is.
Okay.
Last night I was actually on the verge of tears. Not from being like really upset, just from being out in despair.
Just frustration.
Just from just work, please. Have you ever had something like that with a car? Something that just will not live? Because to tee up, for people that don't know you, Robin,
Yeah.
so you do detailing, mainly, but you also have an affliction for the Renault Espace,
I do quite badly.
right? How many have you had? How many will you have?
I've had 21.
That's one for every year Ben's been alive.
How many of those have you ever had at
No.
once?
You 22 now?
I'm 23.
Oh, that's tough. Anyway.
That's 21 different cars. There's
How many
of-
have coexisted?
of those. There's 3 that I've bought back again and then sold again.
Oh, okay. So you're coming up to 25.
So
then,
it's
realistically.
actually about 25. Yeah, but I've currently got 11, maybe 12. I
Nice.
don't actually know.
Why?
I'd have to count.
But no, I mean, why?
Oh, why
how many
haven't-
Espaces? Not why don't you know how many?
Yeah.
Why how many?
Why do you need to count?
It started as a joke. I got one, and I was like, "Oh, right, this is great," and it got damaged in transport on the way down. And the guy said to me, "Oh, I know a bloke that's got parts for it." And I went down and saw the bloke, and he said, "Yeah, the part you need, the bumper, it's in that Espace over there, full of parts." And I went, "Great, right." So I went and got the parts, and then walked back to his shed, and he went, "Right, well." I said, "How much do you want?" He goes, 40 quid. I was like, "Okay, great. You don't want to buy that whole Espace, do you, for all the bits?" And I went, "Yeah, that might be handy for all the parts that I'm going to need eventually because it's French." And he said, "Oh, I've got 2 others as well, actually, if you're interested." And I went, "Okay." And I said, "Well, how much do you want?" And he said, "don't know, 600 quid." And I went, "Each?" And he went, "No, the whole lot." So I had...
You were taken aback by it. They're like the sweets at the till in a
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
And you were sucked in by
They're
it.
just right there.
You took Mentos, Tic Tacs, chewing gum, and some cigarettes.
Yeah.
Also, you went from having 1 Espace to 4 instantly.
None of which were roadworthy.
That's a great. You know what? That's a big trait.
I might need a lot of parts.
That's a big commitment to go. You know what? This is my car.
There's the problem with having a barn, like a unit.
Yeah.
Because it just fills full of stuff. And Espaces.
How about a question that's probably only ever been asked on an Espace forum? What's the best Espace? What's your dream Espace? What's the ultimate?
what's the spec?
What's the big daddy dream Espace, apart from the F1?
It's a 2.2 Espace Quadra 2000-1.
Oh wait, is that the same Quadra system as like the Renault 21s and 19s?
Yeah, almost identical.
Oh, so don't want to get too nerdy, but
Yeah.
they're quite because they're quick. You can make them quick.
It's actually the same engine and engine block as the Renault 21 as well. So you can actually fit a Renault 21 turbo engine directly to a Mark 1 Espace.
See that this is. I did think this when we brought Robin on. There's a very. You might have to wrangle us because we could get nerdy
Yes,
real
this is
quick.
gonna-
But are you not building a very cool Espace right now?
Yes, I am. So the Espace engines, in Mark 1, they sit longitudinally.
Yep.
And then they've got a transaxle thing in the front. And there's not really many engine swaps that you can do. But you can get a 1.8 turbo from a Passat or an A4, and it's exactly the same layout. It's like the perfect shape, perfect dimensions.
Yeah.
Everything, even the drive shaft holes on the gearbox line up with the holes in the chassis.
And a 1.8 turbo, I mean, standard, you can go to 300 horsepower, it sits
Yep.
some rods in it, you go into 400 horsepower
Yeah.
quite happily, quite easily.
Yeah.
In an Espace. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And it's not just a standard engine either.
No.
No, because I've gone out and bought forged rods. And
What is the goal power-wise?
the engine is going to be... The built engine block is going to be capable of about 800. This is really... I'm never going to need that much, but...
What are you going for, though?
350 to 400 through the front wheels.
So just the most reliable...
I want a good, dependable amount of power that's just enough to light up the tyres in third, just because it's funny.
And knowing you, that's going to be your work vehicle, isn't it? You're going to drive. You're going to drive to work.
Probably going to daily that, yeah.
So, and when Robin says that, that means going to detail cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not like it's like a work van that's a 400 horsepower Espace. That's ridiculous.
I don't do much mobile work, but when I do go out, it's either in my Reliant Scimitar, the branded Espace, or my Fiat Panda van thing. There's
Which
there's never a normal car, but if I have that Espace, it will be.
Robin's like a workman from a Netflix series.
Yes.
Where they somehow drive something really interesting that no one would actually drive in the real world. Pulling up in an LM002 Lamborghini to do some work or something. Okay, cool. So that's our rule of rooms at the
That's
week.
all the rules and ruins.
we have-
Quite rough.
Quite rough. You know
Quite
what?
rough.
You're the shining light.
I'm the shining gold star.
Yeah. In our
The light at the end of your tunnel.
Thank you, Robin, for lifting us back up. We've got some general anecdotes of the week.
We do. We have. There's some small news.
some news.
We've got little news bits.
News.
We have a guest. So we'll fly through these. Lewis Hamilton. He's at Ferrari now.
Yeah.
It's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about an F1 really. There's going to be F1 people going. Can you talk about the last race, please? No, don't even know who won it. But Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari is quite cool.
I'm not messing around. Is F1 back?
F1 is so back.
I thought didn't they reveal the
By
liveries
this point,
like 2 weeks ago?
there's probably like 3 or 4 races in.
Oh, crazy! I'm sorry.
They've just done.
I'm
I know
sorry,
they've just
F1
done
people.
China. I just don't know who won it.
Okay.
Anyway, but basically, Lewis Hamilton's been saying stuff. Lewis Hamilton also he just doesn't do all the normal press stuff that other F1 drivers do, even at Ferrari. Like Ferrari are quite like
Ferrari love that
you need
stuff.
I've been to Maranello to film with Leclerc and Vettel there before, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
They have a full day of you've got to speak to this rugby team and play rugby because this sponsor says so.
Yeah.
You need to go and do this. You need to go and look at this and smile, and you're gonna be pleased about it.
You're going to be bloody pleased about it.
But he recently said he wants to make his own Ferrari.
Is
I
it
don't
a
know how
model?
no, like an actual car
Yeah, as in
Yeah.
he wants his own model.
called an F44,
Okay.
and he wants it to be the baseline of an F40. He did say with a manual gearbox. I don't want to spoil that for him, but the F40 does have a manual gearbox. He could just buy an F40.
Yeah.
I think what he's essentially saying
I want to improve the F40. I want it to be a V8 twin turbo manual. No.
I think what he's essentially saying is he wants it to be a modern F40. But what I'm trying to...
44 is his number.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because his McLaren F1 is number chassis 44, which is quite cool.
Is it?
So he was supposed to get an
probably-
F1 LM. Instead, he bought an F1 chassis 44.
Yeah. Although now he's at Ferrari, he's probably not even... I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about.
Ferrari.
No, I just drive Ferraris.
Don't talk about that.
Just Ferraris. But yeah, apparently he said, that's what I'm going to work on for the next few years.
Ferrari. No, mate. Please focus on the racing.
When I read that, I was like, is he just going to be in his shed?
Yeah,
just
look.
hacking away at a Ferrari?
Ferrari. Can Lewis come out to play, please?
Oh, he's building the engine again.
See
in
him
the
laying
Ferrari.
fiberglass in the mould he's bought in.
Yeah, he has to do it proper. He has to do it proper Ferrari. It's literally tack welded together. Yeah, Ferrari. The construction is beautiful.
But that's it. I just came out with it. I mean, just Ferrari listening to that. So you want to make a car?
Yeah.
You drive for the F1 team. You can't just start making cars.
Yeah, the production team. No, you can't just do that.
Next piece of news, gaming news.
Oh, here we go, sports fan.
Fujimi Kaido is back in Forza.
Now, I haven't played. I was Xbox, and now I'm PlayStation. Perhaps what are you? What are you? Are you not? Are you an adult? Are you a busy adult?
Juiced was one of the last games I
Wow. So you're a PlayStation person.
I've
Then?
still got my PS2.
Good man. So I'm your PlayStation as well,
I'm
mostly.
a PlayStation man now.
You know what? That alone, I've been looking at eBay used Xbox, what's called One S's, whatever the thing that can
Series
run the
X,
new one. Yeah,
whatever.
that track I mean, I guess you call it a track. It's a hill.
Yeah, but it's not nice.
The amount of hours I wasted just driving cars up and down that. Oh, I saw that news. I looked at it and I was like, "Nah, he's back. He's back.
He's back." I saw that news. I was like, gaming stuff we normally won't talk about, but
that's cool.
That's the return of a legend. And then the final piece of news I did see that stood out to me was the Hemi V8. Bro's so back. Rumours that he's coming back. So the 5.7, the 6.4, and then obviously the 6.2 supercharged may return at some point this year. Because obviously the new Charger was going to be electric. I think also going to be like a twin turbo, like the new twin turbo V6, I think. But now apparently he's coming back. No confirmation that it's in the Charger.
Americans, someone going to Americans, we're getting rid of your V8s, by the way. How could you ever have imagined that was going to go down well? Yeah, we've got rid of the Hellcat. Instead, you can have an electric Dodge Charger. Sorry, they have guns. They're not going to let you get away with this. Yeah. Someone's coming for you.
Apparently, it's more likely that it'll be mainly for sort of Jeeps and Rams and stuff, because that makes sense. That's a nice economical vehicle to get to work in. Nice sort of 6.4 litre sort of work vehicle.
Got to have a small one for the fuel economy.
But because that Charger looks quite cool, the new one.
I really like how that looks.
But if it goes, I'm not interested in it. It needs to make a louder noise than that, but with a V8 attached to it.
Do people take... Now, this is a bit of a weird question, but do EV owners, the ones that you've worked on, do they tend to be as like passionate about their cars, or is it mainly just they're getting the car detailed and protected for what do you call it? Not efficiency, but like just for longevity,
ease of washing stuff. I'd say probably about 30% of them are just doing that. They're just doing it because they can't be bothered to wash their car too much, and they want to keep it, nice and clean so that they can hand it back to the dealership and not get a bollocking for it. Yeah. But then the rest of them, I'd say most of them have got an EV as a daily.
Interesting.
And then they've got something else.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I had somebody in just the other day, and it was they had a Ford Mustang Mach-E thing. Dreadful. Woeful little thing. And but they've also got a V6 Nissan Elgrand.
Oh, wow.
As the sort of going about town thing.
We were talking about those the other day. Will, you don't understand them. This
is
Japanese
the sort of
box.
However many seat thing that cost £100 million to buy one here.
Yeah, they're like £1 billion.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I mean, I can understand having lots of kids. Actually, I can't.
That's a great clip.
That's a great. You know what? TCR out of context. That was going in there.
But why do you need to transport them all at once? Where are you taking them?
Meanwhile, schools.
But sorry, you have that many kids that are all the same age. I guess you could all be at school at the same time, but just have less kids and get like a better car.
But my Espace 1.8 Turbo has 7 seats.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. But there are solutions to this.
We could get to school so fast.
But what if you have 8 kids?
Well, I'm gonna level with you here. I always had a weird, not want, but semi appreciation for those horrible Chrysler Grand Voyagers. The early 2000s
real round guys.
Yeah, because they have the captain seats in them. I remember as a kid, someone's mum turned up in one of those. I remember thinking, that's horrible. And then when I saw the door slide along the side, because not many cars had that at the time, and then I saw the captain seats, I remember going, that's kind of cool. I shouldn't say it out loud, but that's cool.
I could only ever remember very, very upset and sad looking dads driving them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know full well they messed up.
Yeah.
They got too many other little guys back there, which means they've had to give up a decent car option and drive around a small barge
in the shiniest leather. Imagine 7 kids on that leather. It must sound like seagulls in the back. Just horrible.
Yeah, and all the crumbs getting smashed into the faux leather in the back.
What is the? We'll get onto the quickfire questions for your detailing stuff. But what is, just thinking about that? What's the worst car that someone's like a car that abjectly has no value, but to someone they want it detailed, just something horrible.
It's just one of Robin's cars.
Anything
the
of mine, the ZS. I know exactly what it is straight away. There's a Suzuki Alto.
Oh wow!
It was I think it was like an 11-plate Suzuki Alto.
Right. So not even the early 2000s.
Not a cool one. No.
Interesting because it's not interesting.
No,
car.
It was literally scrap value, but it was low mileage and. This lady had been given this car because someone in the family had passed away. She'd been given this car and it was no good, and she was just going to scrap it. And she came down and said, "Can you clean it? Because it smells. I've got some coffee spills." And I said to her, I said to her, "Just leave it with me for a few hours and I'll see what I can do." And I looked at it, and it was so battered that I went, I'm going to polish this. She's going to be absolutely...
And she didn't ask. She didn't ask.
No, she just wanted
clean.
the interior cleaned and a coffee stain taking out of the carpet where it had gone down the side of the seat.
Nice.
I was like, I'm just going to do this because I can do this really quick. It's because it's about this big.
Yeah.
So, it's so quick. But it looked like it had been washed with a hedge. It was so bad. But it turns out it was a lovely black colour with like a blue kind of flip, sparkly kind of thing going on. And it turned out so nice when it was done. But it was literally scrap value.
And she got there, went, all right, cheers, and just drove off.
Straight to we buy the car.
Yeah.
I said to her, I got bored, and I gave it a quick polish up, and she nearly cried when she walked in. And she's
ruined my car.
Yeah.
I love the scratches. Yeah, when she gave it to me, the one that she said, don't ever wash it.
But she's been coming back to me for 4 years. She comes back about every 6 months for a quick
with that car.
With that car, it's still going. Still going.
That, see, you know what? Even for a normal car, for a run of the mill, like someone who's not into cars, like that. That's what do you call that?
Keeping it on going. Just literally a piece of shit, but it just keeps going and going and going.
What about the car though?
Wow. Can't talk about customers.
We'll move on to a section here called Things to Discuss.
Oh, okay.
Which is the things that we just put in our little
What's that
group
about?
to talk about and discuss, perhaps. Number one, an answer from last week's podcast. Do they grit runways? Can we get a
I have an answer. I had an answer actually mid-podcast, but I saved it.
I like that you're pulling out the phone for a yes or no answer. Yes.
Oh, actually, it's a no.
Oh, this says no. They
Okay.
don't grit them because, this makes sense, planes suck in air and stuff. So if you fill the runway with grit,
a good point.
that heats up.
So you're telling me
So I contacted...
planes land at hundreds of miles an hour.
You're just doing
Hang on,
skids.
wait, I'm getting there.
Hold on. Are you saying you contacted someone?
I contacted my good friend Fred, who works at the airport and also is he has Edwin level affliction with planes.
Nice, good stuff. We
not
call
car.
that something else these days. We can't really say it on
I think you get diagnosed with it.
Yeah.
Apparently, no grit because obviously it's going to suck it and ruin the plane.
That's it. Thanks, Fred.
They put chemical de-icer and anti-icer down. So basically the runway just can't get it. And would you care to guess how much that costs?
35 grand a day.
I was going to say, I'm going to say 20 grand.
It's 30 grand a day.
Oh, Will. Oh, yeah, in my previous life selling de-icer.
That's crazy.
All I can picture is, the car plan bottles of de-icer. but it's a massive lorry with a big tube on the back, but with a spray can on the end.
It's just someone with 1,000 of those bottles going...
And someone else going, it'd be much faster if you boiled kettle and just...
No, it'll crack the runway.
Okay, so no grit on runways.
So no grit, yeah, but they obviously that depends... runway size varies here, so it might be cheaper if you've got a smaller runway, or what if you've got a grass runway?
I don't know that they worry about that.
But that's going to get wet and
I think
freeze.
they probably don't go out in the snow. I think people doing gliders on grass runways don't go, snowing out, I'll get the glider up.
So we've answered that question. We can all, nice car related
resolution.
there. A resolution to a question we're all wondering. Fourth question here, which is not the number I'm searching for, was from Ben, I think. How long to finish your cars?
Oh, I had this one for... Actually, this works for everyone. I had this thought the other day when I was driving. You all have cars, many cars. Okay. If I said to you right now, okay, unlimited budget, you can do whatever you want to it. All your cars, whatever you want. You can't leave the unit till it's done. How long, non-stop, will it take to finish all of your cars?
Oh shit. God. Now, when you say that, do they need to be completed to the build that I'm like?
That's what's in your head.
What I want.
Because would you consider, for example, your 316? You could give it a polish and a service, and it's nice. But I'm talking
B58 swap.
Yeah, exactly.
All of the stuff.
It's done, but you can't leave the unit till it's done.
6 months to a year minimum
of non-stop work.
Work
On how many cars? 11?
10. Yeah.
Is that just lone work? Or can you pull people in? Can you pay other people to do stuff?
Yeah, but you can't just
Can you send cars away?
I mean, if it needs rust work, stuff you can't do, yeah, but it would have to be still 24/7 going.
I'll go
24/7.
When do I
the
sleep?
MX-5 all over again.
I'll go with a month.
A month?
A month, 60 to 90 days.
Well, so your Range Rover basically just
Range Rover,
not much.
Yeah, probably just lots of
182.
small stuff.
You're pretty much there.
But the bodywork.
Yeah, that's fair.
And getting the engine sorted.
And changing the engine
Your
again.
Megane
And the wheels.
The Megane's a
Yeah.
little
The
bit.
Megane is still in the paddock over there.
And 350Z.
350Z needs brakes. But I'd probably take me a month.
Robin,
Okay.
This is tough.
are you a part of my gang?
I'm screwed.
Are we
here.
sending each other Christmas cards from the unit?
I'm not.
What decade are we in?
I'm trying to think in my head and count up what I've got, and I can't remember what I have. That's
Now,
the problem.
Are the plans? Is every single car for saving, or are some of them there to exist to help other cars?
So there's about 3, maybe there's probably 2 or 3 Espaces that are there to be sacrificed to the French car gods.
But given ultimate budget, would you fix them?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Because then I can have
that
more.
Okay, so then you are there for years.
Yeah, I'm going to say a good 18 months to 2 years.
Nice.
Wow,
That's
okay.
clean. Ben, what about yourself?
Oh, I recken we're about done.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't think we need any parts, do we, on your car?
It's like
I
a
reckon
prison stretch.
Give me a big afternoon.
And then it cuts to Ben sitting in his corner editing.
Drink a cup of tea. Maybe ordering a PMS shifter. I reckon.
Probably not.
No, realistically, I think I'm getting it done in a weekend.
But what's there to do?
Shifter, seats, steering wheel, service.
Sell.
Yep, buy another car. I have to earn all the money to buy an S2000 before, and then I have to.
Fair.
Okay.
I like that. It's a good question.
There we go. Good question. Next up, another one from Ben here. Old woman M5 CS.
Yes, well, she's not old, but she's probably late 50s.
We know it's the woman we've seen.
This is the one with the BMW number
With
plate.
Yes, with
we
don't
say it.
but it has a BMW and a CS theme number
Well,
plate.
I mean, you've narrowed it down quite a lot now. I'll be honest.
It could be any number in between there. It could be 04.
Yeah, you have given 5 out of the 7 digits.
Yes, I was driving down the Wiggly Road near the unit the other morning.
Yeah,
and I saw a G30 something M5, whatever the one is before the current one, and
G90.
G90.
G90,
F90.
F90,
Oh my
F90,
God,
F90 M5, and I was like, oh, that's nice, and it was in the actual launch spec as well.
The olive,
Cool.
the olive.
Yeah, with gold everywhere.
All in that colour, right?
Wait. Whoa.
It's a CS.
It's a CS.
Yeah,
Green.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all that colour, right?
Don't know.
you get different
Don't know
colours?
about that.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I've only ever seen them in that green.
Yeah, so
Okay, well, I saw that.
Robin?
Modern cars, I don't do that.
Excellent.
Okay.
Back to Ben.
The Espace behind you. I can tell you what day it was built.
Yeah, and I looked in and I was like, oh, this is cool. And it's just a 6-year-old woman driving
Yeah.
this car.
Was she
How?
given
Why?
the beans or?
No, very reserved, actually.
No beans, that's
Scared
all.
to, because we had to go into like a little width restriction. Scared to go near me. Probably because my car's very old and
Because you're doing
battered.
140.
yeah.
What's that? What's the old twin turbo V6 Jaguar from the 90s thing?
XJ220.
XJ220.
Yeah.
Where I used to live near Stoke-on-Trent. There's an elderly woman that drives a green XJ220.
Surely not.
Surely
I
she just got
promise you.
upsold at the Jag dealer.
Well, we've got this on Part X. For you.
Yeah. The salesman
yeah.
said it's just an XJ6.
She used to drive it like an absolute lunatic. I remember she'd go past my house on a fairly regular, fairly regularly.
Just on
And
boost.
Yeah, and I googled this, and she's known in the Jaguar community.
Really?
She's in her 70s, I think, and she
Look at
always
that.
wears tan driving gloves in her green XJ220.
Now that.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, you know.
No, is it the woman with the car collection?
She might have a car collection.
If she's got an XJ220, I mean, surely she's probably
Yeah.
got a car.
No, it's just the only one I've got. It's just a daily, really.
It's daily, yeah.
It's that, and then
Just going to the
Yeah.
shops.
Yeah. I traded in a Nissan Pixo for this.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think I recall that. I can't remember her name. I'm not just going to pull
I
her
know.
name out of thin air. Wendy.
Well,
Wendy, the XJ220 owner.
I like that. I think we should get a car club going, which is just all old women in their cool cars.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because then they're very, very old.
Yeah, but
And they'll-
And when
then they'll
it
sell
when it
them.
comes to pass,
oh my God. Well,
we can see.
you might be remembered in the
see
will.
see if there's a deal to be done here. Well, we get on the podcast at least.
Yeah.
Little podcast feature.
Before or
Older
after?
info- After.
Very quiet podcast.
just a little, just a vase there. Next up is a point from Edwin. Your dreaming comments.
Oh, this is now. We said after last week. Last week's podcast hasn't actually gone out yet, or it's just gone out, but we haven't
about
seen the
to come
comments.
out.
We're fairly sure there's going to be a lot of comments of people whinging about. Well, we're always mean and fair. We always are because we're assholes. Even we said maybe we should be a little bit less moany. But allow me to moan for a little bit. There was a comment. It was about Ben's S2000 thing, saying, "You're dreaming if you think you're getting an S2000 for that money. Oh, you can barely even get a shell for $5,000." I hate people that are confidently wrong about car stuff. If you don't know, it's okay to say, I will be wrong, and if someone tells me I'm wrong, fair, fine. But to go so confidently into it, Ben,
Hello.
we found an S2000 for you on Copart.
We almost bid on it.
We almost bid on it. How much did that sell for?
£2,800.
That's interesting. So if you can get a car with a running engine for £2,300, no, I'm not saying it's not cheap. I'm not saying that that's not,
And that was a rough one.
that you can go down the road and find lots of those. but you do find £5,000, you barely get a shell. What are you talking about?
Also sent you another one that was on Facebook.
What was that, 7?
That was $6,000.
Yeah.
And it was running,
And that was a
driving,
running
and worked.
car.
It was just rough.
Exactly, yeah.
Just in general with car people, because we're all know-it-alls, but there's this certain breed of person that goes, you're an idiot. When I asked about the C55 AMG and said I'm looking around the 5 to 7.5 grand, the amount of people that were like, you can't get them for that. So why did I buy one for 4.5 then? What are you talking about? It annoys me so much. Do you ever have that with people that are just confidently wrong when they do it happen with detailing stuff? Where they're like, you can't use that.
You shouldn't use it. I want you to use this. A lot of them come along and tell me that they want to use X product on their car, and I go, okay, no.
What's the weirdest request for a product? Again,
Can
we'll
you
get
use
to
olive oil?
questions. Yeah. You ever had a really bizarre product or brand or anything?
I had a bit of a strange one actually not long ago. I had a guy who had I won't disclose what car it was. He had a car.
Okay.
And he wanted it polished, but then he didn't want me to put a ceramic coating on it. He wanted to come in and put his own ceramic coating on it in my workshop.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting.
Because he didn't want to pay for my coating, so he wanted to just for me to do
apply his own
coating. Yeah.
But why does he want to do it in your workshop? Why wouldn't he take it home and do that?
Because then it would be all perfect and panel wiped and everything. You get it home and it would be covered in dust and crap again. And he'd have to wash it again and then ruin it and then have to pay for me to polish it again.
And then the cycle continues.
And then, just end the cycle of making money. It's genius.
Did you take him up on it?
No.
So he just paid then for.
He paid for the polishing and then I could put a wax on it for him.
So he then did drive home and probably do it himself.
Maybe. I mean, I did tell him that I was going to wax it, and it wasn't wise to leave it just sort of unprotected, or to go home and then just ceramic coat it or whatever. And I don't know what he did. So
well,
he agreed to having it waxed. Said, yeah, that's great. That'll do. Yeah, and then I never heard from him again.
People are bizarre.
Yeah.
Some bizarre requests. Anyway, on Anecdotes list, what have we got? Lexus NX rear lights.
I was driving behind a Lexus NX.
Whatever that is.
Whatever it is, all you need to know is it's a crossover of some sort.
Oh, not an NX, like an old NX. You mean?
No, this is like a brand new Lexus
I'm not
thing.
interested.
It looks like, imagine a Lexus crossover, it's that. And I was behind one, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, the rear lights look kind of weird. You can find a photo of it on Google, or put one up on the screen. And it has its normal lights, and there's a red section where you would expect the brake light to be. He hit the brakes, the red light section did not light up. What instead lit up was a tiny patch of clear glass on the top right with 3 of the brightest LEDs I have ever seen in my life. It was getting dark. It blinded the shit out of me.
Free laser eye surgery.
No, I'm not joking you. It was. I literally was like, what the hell? And I thought that must be a manufacturing fault. You know, stuff goes wrong. The amount of times I see new Defenders and they have one left light out. Brand new car. The lights are just out. Mere 20 seconds later, another Lexus NX pulls up alongside. It's like, oh, here we go. They both hit the lights. I'm blind. I'm blind. How are they allowed to do this?
You got hit with the infrared blast.
But that's my whole point here is, how is it that pop-ups aren't allowed because someone's nan's ankle might get a little bit hurt by getting hit by it?
Fair.
Yet I can be blinded by a Spec Ops style laser light bursting in through the door like I'm someone in Al Qaeda. It is mental.
It's what your TV sees when you change channels. It's just on the remote. It's just
Am I a cat with a laser pen? It is absolutely mental.
Even headlights as well. I've moaned about it. I've had cars with xenons, and sometimes you get flashed by people.
Yeah.
And you just have to go, look, you need to get on with the times, my man. You're going to get blinded. It's fine. But some modern cars are actually insane.
You get flashbanged going down the road.
And it's because normally the headlights are moving, so the headlights are going...
Peugeot.
Yeah.
Why is it always Peugeots? I can't see anything coming. It's like a collapsed sun coming towards
Peugeots
me.
or Teslas? Teslas, I think, are the worst because I believe in my soul that a blind man is setting up where the lights go, because one drives past me, it's aiming at the moon. The next one is at the floor. The third one directly into my retinas. What's the point?
Have you seen? Have you ever done it where these massively bright lights come towards you? Like, oh, this guy's full beaming me. You put your own full beams on in like your 20-year-old car, and then they go, okay, I'm gonna get you back, and then they just destroy your eyes.
You're done.
Literally sat in a white room.
It's like this. It's like the scene in the Terminator where she's on the fence.
It's exactly that. But I don't understand how's it legal.
What are the laws for lights. If someone in the comments, listener, a subscriber, a follower, could give us the laws on lights, please, that would be advantageous to the cause. And we can take these people down.
If so,
get back to halogens.
If so, I'm buying one of those Chinese, those ridiculous Chinese lights that can light up a town.
It's like a whole village, isn't it?
In the distance.
Like a bat
I'm
symbol.
doing that. I'm putting some bit of red over it, and I'm mounting it on the back of my car.
Just projecting onto the sky.
Yeah, guys, I'm breaking.
And a spas. Robin is here. Oh, wow, Robin. Anyway, I think that... Oh, we got a point from Ben here, which we did talk about very briefly in the car earlier. Are you more likely to get a parking ticket if the car is modified? I think Ben has got a little bit of victim.
Yeah, he believes
A little bit. I want to know if that's
feels-
the case. If you were a parking attendant and you saw a car, this is obviously not related to a recent event that happened, but if you did see a modified car, are you more likely to put a ticket on it? I think yes.
Do
I
you
think
think
not.
if you were in the X5, you would have got that parking ticket? I think more so because you would have been more over the line.
That's the thing.
The reason I put this in there was because I left for work that morning, and the cars that were near me that were on the other side of this shape I'd parked around. It's like a village green parked around. They were also on the line, like similar level to me. Got home. They didn't have any tickets. They might have gone to work because I did leave at like 7 a.m. But still, is it because the Clio's modified? Did you see a little low car with a big exhaust and think, you know what?
I don't think modified.
No.
I think the only time that might apply is very, very expensive cars.
I was going to say the same
like
thing.
if you're pulling up in a Cullinan,
Yeah,
and
if
you're
you're
parking on a
double
yellow,
yellows.
I think a parking attendant is going to take pride in slapping them with a fine, even though they couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I think maybe expensive cars, maybe, but
Yeah.
overall, I think a parking attendant is just being straight up flat. You're getting a ticket no matter what. Yeah.
I actually
Millimetre or
managed to avoid paying for parking throughout my entire university course.
not. Ooh, hell.
Did
I
you
had-
put a fake parking ticket on?
No,
Was it
no,
like Only Fools and Horses
no.
style?
They were in the university car park. They didn't do fines. They did clamping and fines.
Yeah.
And I had, like you said, the fake parking ticket on. I'd leave a parking ticket on. And then after about 3 weeks, they started cottoning on and putting extra parking tickets on it. I thought, right, okay, fine, I'll pay it. And I'd park up, take the reg off. But because it's so low, they couldn't clamp it because they couldn't get the chains under the wheel arches.
So there you go. Low cars.
Low cars.
Save you money.
Save you money. It's genius.
I like that.
And that was a Rover 45 as well.
Sick. The first of many bad decisions. Well, shall we? That's all of our news. Shall we get into actual questions for Robin as a detailer?
Yeah, so Robin is my first question for that is, I think we roughly know what this means, but there'll be many that don't. What the hell does detailer mean? What differs you from a £10 man at a BP?
From Yes Boss.
Okay.
Or what differs you from the machine I drive through in my Range Rover?
Now that upsets. Firstly, can I make a confession to you?
Okay. Careful. Think about this.
The Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's been getting really dirty. We've got lots of mud down the road. Yeah.
You didn't.
I didn't go to it. I think I went to the jet wash myself.
Okay.
I used the brush on the paint for the first time in my life. I was like, I just want the car clean.
That's actually quite painful.
It's really painful.
Yeah.
That's tough to hit. No car deserves
No,
that.
do you know what I did? I used the jet wash. I used the jet to spray the brush first. I then used the brush on the paint. Sad, I know. And then I used it on the wheel and on the bottom of the arches and that sort of stuff. So I tried to minimise. Yeah, I did leave it for the next person. But I tried to minimise. But I still, while I was doing it, I thought, Robin's looking down on me somewhere. He's cursing.
You were there. You knew I'd be upset, and you did it anyway.
Yeah.
But you did all those other extra steps. Did you feel better about yourself doing that?
No.
Good.
No better.
Was it clean?
No, it's still really dirty.
Rubbish.
It's not good at all.
But yeah, so detailer, like, what's that mean?
Okay, so I mean, the detailing itself. The word detailing is an American terminology for car washing, or what we call valeting.
Detailing.
I'm a detailer. You go to the detail shop. It means you go to the car wash.
detail.
But in the UK, it's had a sort of boom in the last 5 years and become a kind of byword for like the Waitrose of car washing, the M&S of car washing. So where you go to the car wash and spend 20, 30 quid, boss man's got it done in 15 minutes, bosh, off you go, tyre shine all at the side of it and bits missed. I'm spending 15 hours working on one car, just making it reasonable, if not more.
And that is because you have an obsessive affliction with car cleaning. It's that you don't do this as a job. You would be doing this even if we took away your business. You're doing it.
I'd be doing this to my own cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it started, really.
Before we started this podcast, we were talking about it, and I asked Robin, do you ever see other things around around life that you want to clean? And you said you've even looked at toilet seats and thought I could polish that up.
I could see swirl marks in the toilet seats. I'd be going for a wee and I just look at it. Oh, I could polish that.
But you are as afflicted to buy. Well, yeah, I mean, you're just as afflicted to buying shit cars as we are.
Yeah.
But in that same vein as us to that, you are to clean. You need it to be clean.
I can't. I watched my dad washing his bongo van. It's a black bongo van. I polished it and everything. It looks lovely. And he was washing it with a sponge the other day, and I almost cried.
So
Dad,
you just
no.
beat him up instead.
Yeah.
I just took him out.
Just people's elbowed him.
Yeah. I said to him, I was like, I will clean it for you for free. Just give me the van. I'll drive it to work and I will clean it in the evening when I'm done and drive it home and you'll have a lovely clean van. He goes, no, it's all right. I'll just give it a quick wash.
What is the strangest thing you've detailed in your house? And again, this is the thing we talked about prior to this on the podcast. That once my dad said to me that he ceramic coated his shower door.
I have also ceramic coated my shower.
Which, like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
It's just a bit extreme. And then I saw there was a Facebook page we were talking about, Detaling Central,
yeah.
Which is kind of havoc in there, really.
That's chaos.
But there was a guy in there. It took me a bit off chance, really. I was just scrolling through, saw Detaling Central, and then a picture of a hob. I was like,
yeah,
okay.
nice.
And there was a question. It was like, can I ceramic coat my hob because I'm sick of scraping stuff off there? Do you think could that fly?
I mean,
Would you make a fire?
I've got coatings that are resistant up to 800 degrees Celsius.
So you should be good.
So
then.
it could work.
Okay.
Yeah, it could work.
But you'd probably machine polish it first, get all the sort of like
Clay
swirls
bar
out.
it.
Oh, yeah, full detail, yeah.
Snow foam it.
Snow foam, that snow foam in the kitchen, yeah. I did once, I remember during COVID when people were really bored and starting up detailing business, I remember some guy detailed a wheelie bin.
Nice.
And
I feel like I remember that.
And he did like the hardest edit.
Yeah. I remember the edit.
Like snow foam and tyre dressing and
Yeah.
everything.
So you're just cleaning everything.
So what is the weirdest thing that you've done that's not car related?
Oh, that is a tough one. Actually, no, I know exactly what it is. A radio-controlled car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a radio-controlled car. Not mine. It was somebody had approached me. It was an existing customer. And he saw I had a radio control car on my wall. He went, "Oh, I got one of those." And I said, well, "Yours look really nice." I was like, "Yeah, I'm using the steam cleaner and tightening it all up and polishing on the exhaust pipe on this big fifth scale like touring car thing that he had." And that I had, and he said, "Oh, I've got basically the same thing." And I was like, "Well, I can clean that for you."
And that was was a paying job.
It was a paying job. It took me 30
So
quid.
you were paid to detail him.
30 quid, yeah.
Wow, did you scale down the rate to the exact same scale?
Yeah, it was like a fifth of what it would be for a normal wash.
Oh, that's a great business move.
But I did a little video on it and took photos and stuff. We had it outside on the floor and snow foamed it, and then I machine polished it with like I've got a really small DA that I used.
You got a mouse came out. Here's your small car detailer.
Jump in, mate. Stuart Little.
Okay, so that's odd house things detailed. I think there'll be many people who've probably done the same, and many people who find that quite bizarre.
Yeah, because so the thing is with C.R.E.A.M, and as people have been calling themselves the Creamers, still not your name, but again, feel free to use it if you like it. I'd say it's probably 50-50 on people that are like us, they're buying cars every day, and other people that just enjoy cars kind of generally. They won't understand why you wouldn't take it to just a car wash. What the difference that you do? What are you doing differently from a car wash? Let's say, because you're doing multiple stages. What are those stages?
Oh, I mean,
in the most simple terms.
In the most simple terms, essentially, I'm trying to make that paint that you've got on your car look as good as it can for as long as it can, because I think one of the things that people don't realise is that paint is a service item. That's why when you go to the dealership and you have your oil changed, you get a service wash. Cars need cleaning as part of maintenance, but some people change their oil every 2,000 or 3,000 miles. Some people will change their oil at the dealership every 12,000 as per the schedules and stuff. The people like us, 2,000 or 3,000 miles, change oil. We're the sort of people that would be more inclined to make our cars clean and really nice more often. But doing it with multiple stages means you're less likely to scratch the paint up or stain plastics and ruin it, basically.
So basically, the longer you spend on it, the better the outcome. Is.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near comparable to a wash. Like washing your car it's not even the same kind of realm as what you're doing.
No.
You're improving the paint, not just cleaning a car.
Yeah, I'm not just washing dirt off of it. It's washing everything off of the surface, cleaning the surface to as clean as it possibly can be, and then refining the clear coat on the surface to make it look as good as it possibly can under any light.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see cars on the road and you look at it and you just go, what on earth has happened to you?
Looking like a hologram going
Just
down the road. Yeah.
like all sorts, especially at night as well, when you pull up like at a junction and there's a car parked opposite the junction, your headlights are on it, and you look at it and you can just see someone's been up and down it with a machine polisher like this and left loads of hologram. It makes me itch.
Man, who would do that? That's
Yeah, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it?
I do wonder where some people actually get this stuff done. I know, obviously, that a lot of it's probably £10 car washes because that's part of the problem with a £10 car wash, right? Is that you are using nice, clean microfibers, good products. You're not just going, right, I've used this microfiber on the last 40 cars today.
Yeah.
I probably dropped it in a puddle earlier, picked it up, and then wiped your car with it. That's kind of hot, like a lot of the problem. Stack them high, sell them cheap.
Yeah, it's numbers.
Get it in and
It's
out
numbers.
as quick
It's
as
numbers
possible.
out the door. That's all they care about, which is it's a good business model, and says money.
If you're just looking for your car to be clean, it does that job. But in actual fact, they doing that is what is what sets you up for what your job is, because your job is undoing what they do.
Exactly.
They are introducing those swirls and scratches that you have to fix.
It doesn't take much for someone to realise that they're getting like a really bad job from the car wash. So one little bit of like missed dirt somewhere or missed patch or something, and then they start looking a bit closer and going, oh, that wasn't there before, and oh, that scratch wasn't there before, and this is not very good. Oh, this is awful. Why have I paid for this? And then they start Googling and looking around and thinking, what can I do better? How can I do this better? And then they'll either go down the route of buying stuff to do it themselves and getting more interested in that, and then, or they'll go to a detailer or a professional valeter or something.
I had that same experience the other day. Literally that exact experience, because I got my Clio cleaned and I was like, that's our first time cleaning it in 6 months. That was great. And I looked at it afterwards and the trims, hurt Robin. I could see.
I watched Robin recoil. In my peripheral, I saw him go.
It'd been sat there for the winter and I haven't really driven it that much, and I got it cleaned by just your normal driving car wash, and afterwards I was like, oh, this is great, it's looking nicer. Looked up like the trim on the side, where it's like 16 valve 2 litre whatever, and under it is just loads of dirt. It wasn't clean. It's just, and I was thinking, let's get it done proper.
Do you know what really bothers me about like cheap? Again, I've used cheap car washes in the past because some of it is it's what you have access to almost. So when I was younger, I'm living at like my mum's, which is like in a flat. I can't wash my car outside because it's just not possible. Not without like using waterless stuff that is going to scuff it anyway. So you go to a £10 car wash because that's kind of the best like you can do. But I've completely forgotten the point I was about to make. But I got another point actually Anyway, sorry, on the convenience scale of it, I went to a car wash recently, £10 car. One of the first times, actually, I've done that. I've been cleaning my cars for a couple of years now. I'm a long time out the game on the £10 car wash thing, but it was in the Range Rover. And you know, like how these car washes, it will say, if it's an SUV, it costs more. I pulled out on the board, said SUV, £20. Now, my car was very dirty. You couldn't see the number plate. But that is kind of why I'm getting it cleaned. I pull up, put the window down. The guy says, just the outside? Yep. That'd be £25. I said, hold on.
It says 20 on the board.
It says 20 on the board. He went, yeah, your car is very dirty. I sort of stared for a second. I was like, well, I'm not doing that. That's kind of why I'm here. Also, he didn't even see the whole car.
No.
He didn't even see the back of it, so he might have doubled the money.
It's like rocking up to a car dealership with no car, them going, it was 10 grand, but it's 12 because we know you need a car. I know you don't have
I
one.
wanted to, like, does it get cheaper if I turn up with a clean car? If they have to do no work, do they pay me? I just thought that's kind of like the level that sometimes they're a little bit. I see an opportunity here.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an extra £5 out of it. I should have just come to you.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
My car is.
Why
out.
didn't you? You cheated on me.
Yeah, I haven't watched that car in a long, long time.
How does this behind it for the audio listeners? I
don't want to look.
The Mercs lights are looking. I mean, if I just the sound.
That's tough.
How do they? Because that's something you do a lot. Is polishing headlights.
Yeah, I do quite a lot. And funny enough, I actually do quite a lot of these Mercs as well.
This is one of the most satisfying things in the world to me. See, I'm gonna lay a claim here. I hate cleaning cars. I really do. I've tried it. I mean, even I've asked Will to try and teach me multiple times. Like, Will try and come over on a weekend and show me how to polish stuff. I can never get a hang of it, and I hate it. But
you like cleaning things.
I like cleaning engine bays and things,
Yeah.
but I just doing the exterior of cars, I can never get right, and if I can't get it right, it annoys me, and I don't want to do it anymore. But the polishing headlights, that's the best thing in the world.
Satisfying.
It will instantly change a car. If you've got really fogged up headlights, perhaps a DIY method at home that's really, because you use compound, right? You just use.
Yeah, I do a safe method that means I'm not gonna. It's cleaner.
Yeah,
it's not perfect, but I'm not gonna balls it up beyond belief.
How would you? Let's say someone's listening right now. They got fogged up headlights and they want to have a go at DIYing it themselves. What would you recommend?
I'd recommend get some masking tape, mask all the way around the headlights, and just get a cheapy electric drill with a little spongy pad on the end of it, and just go for it with a bit of polishing compound because it will look better.
Just like your run-of-the-mill compound that you find in Halfords or wherever you get.
Some Bogo, Scratch X compound type stuff, whatever. It's going to look better and it's going to improve it significantly. You could go down the route of doing it all properly with a dual-action polisher, or you wet sand it and go all that, but it's not worth it most of the time. A lot of headlights, it's worth just giving a quick buzz over once in a while.
Yeah, it
makes such a big difference.
It's one of the first jobs I ever did to any car that I owned was a headlight polish. I remember standing back and going, "Man, I'm the man. I'm a detailing god." And then I slipped with the drill and scuffed off some paint, and I never wanted to do it again.
I'll never understand why more people don't, when coming to sell a car, don't do little jobs like that. We talked about this a few times on when someone advertises a car. Like we've probably bought cars in the past, like the Merc, where little details like that probably wouldn't cost you that much if you did it yourself, or if you just paid Robin £1,000 million,
a bajillion pounds,
for a detail.
One Espace,
enough for my dream car.
Yeah, so about 25 to 30 pounds.
Yeah, something like that.
But just spending that little extra time doing the headlights, looking at the plastic trims, that kind of stuff, that elevates that car way higher in terms of like how valuable it is.
Do you know what I always say when I'm doing a training day to someone is that the paint on a car is the least important part of it.
So I remember maybe people watching who are big into car YouTube, Ammo NYC, a classic, I remember him mentioning something many years ago that he was working on a car that didn't have very good paint, and he called it framing. Well, they call it framing, which is when the paint isn't that good, doing everything else but the paint, doing all the trims, doing in the wheel wells, making the tyres look good, will distract your eye from the bad bits of paint and make you still go, that's still a really good car. That I always thought, and then I tried it on my car, I was like, that's true.
It's absolutely
It looks
true.
great now.
Yeah, you could wash your car and slap a bit of spray wax on it or something and it'll look all right, but if you make sure the glass is perfect, the headlights have a bit of polish, on the inside of the barrels of the wheels are really nice and clean, the tyres are nice and satin and dress the inside of the wheel arches. It's new car.
Yeah.
That's a new car.
Absolutely.
Now, on that, wheels. Now, I like cleaning cars. I really do enjoy cleaning cars. I haven't, not for a while, I haven't really been doing it regularly, but I enjoy cleaning it when it comes to doing it. But cleaning wheels is my least favourite bit. I often just leave it and I'm relying on a product to do the most of it for me. If the wheel cleaner doesn't get it all off, whatever's left...
it's in God's hands.
It's staying there.
It's for nature. The wheels go round and round when I'm going. It should all fly off. But like, what is to you? Obviously, you enjoy detailing anyway. But what is the worst part of what is the most frustrating, annoying, long, whatever part of a detailing job? Someone comes to you and says, "I want you to do this," and you go, "You."
Funny, I don't hate cleaning wheels, but there is one wheel specifically that is awful, which is the Mercedes EQC wheels.
Ooh. Oh, with the little divot that there's the ring around the inner.
There's yeah, and there's 16,000 spokes on it. It might as well be a sieve. It's just that's pointless. But what I hate the most is really cheap carpets that are really dirty. They're so difficult to clean.
Why? What's
when you get really cheap carpets? They're made of looped fibres, so they don't cut the tops off the fibres because they're just trying to cheap out on the materials. So like Audis and a lot of Volkswagen and stuff, the fibres are straight up like that.
Yeah.
Which means that the dirt sits between the fibres, and then your Hoover can lift out almost. You can put it all up. Where in looped fibre carpets, it's like the soft side of Velcro.
So it's trapped.
Traps, yeah. Which is why when you go to the car wash, you see them out with cans of spray paint spraying people's mats and carpets because they can't be bothered to hoover it all out. And then I'm the one that has to get all the dye out of the carpet and out of somebody's shoes.
You spray paint carpets?
Yeah.
That's
surprisingly
annoyed if I saw a guy leaning into my car with a can of spray with the full gun and everything.
Yeah. Also, if I'm driving back from the car wash and I get high and crash, who am I blaming? How do I?
My foot slips on wet paint.
Officer, I don't know.
I had a wet paint sign.
Years and years and years ago, I had a guy who came to me asking me to clean the dye out of his carpets because he'd been to the car wash, and he had like dark grey carpets, not black carpets, and the car wash people had sprayed black dye on the whole carpets. And they'd obviously sprayed a bit on and gone, shit, this is the wrong colour, and then just kept going. So you look underneath
Under the seats.
the seats, and it's just there's like a line where there's like overspray,
then
and
grey.
then it's grey. I had to take the seats out, and I had to clean all the dye out of the carpets.
How long did that take?
I think that was almost 2 days.
Just straight.
Just stripping the interior, taking everything out, getting all the dye off of all the plastics and all the seat rail and the wiring loomed and everything. It was everywhere.
Oh, that's tough.
Absolutely
See,
everywhere.
that's the thing. I think I would do the first hour. I'd be like, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, mate, come pick up your car. I've done what I can.
Yeah.
I do get that with even I like detailing, but sometimes if I get something that is really time consuming, I think you need to be either ultra passionate about it or very, very patient, because if I don't start seeing a result,
or you need to be paid for it.
all that,
Yeah, that works too.
all that. But also, if I'm being paid for it, I'm then panicking because I then still don't want to do the job.
Yeah.
And then I'm handing them back a half polished car. Is that because cars are big? There's a lot of panels on that stuff, and it just takes ages to actually get it all right. But
What's the longest job, single car vehicle that you've ever done? Like a bus?
Physically long,
As in, like the job took
job
from start
time?
to finish the most time.
that would be. I actually had a brand new Range Rover in 2020, and the guy wasn't happy with the texture of the paint. He was really unhappy, so he took it back to the dealership, and Land Rover suggested. Land Rover said that this is fine, this is normal, this is how they come out of the factory, and they compared it to another one. It was absolutely fine, but it was very orange peely and looked very rough.
And for quickly to explain that's for viewers, listeners. When you look down the side of a car and it looks all ripply, but not on the bodywork, just the paint. He looks like he has a texture.
Yeah, it's like a
perhaps
texture.
like an orange peel.
Orange peel, yeah, funny that. Yeah, and he wasn't happy with it, and I said, well, I can reduce that significantly, and I did a little test batch about 6 inches square, where I wet sanded it, and then 2 or 3 stages of polishing, and he went, I want that on the whole car, and I went, this is going to take a while, and it was a big car, and it was a brand spanking new Range Rover. It was about £110,000, I think he spec'd it up to, and it took 6 days in the end, from start to finish,
Of just polishing.
of sanding, polishing, and then coating, and then he wanted interior trims, coating, leather coating, fabric coating on the carpets and everything. He just wanted absolutely everything all together.
Part of me thinks like that's actually props, because that car's now worth probably a third of what it was new.
yeah. Doing that, it's purely for his.
Just so that you can look at that car and go, that's how I wanted it.
I do find
That's
it crazy
correct.
that's like a thing in detailing land, is as a brand new car.
Yeah.
Like
This
a
brand new
paint
car
correction.
is not good enough.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, on that Range Rover, we found a tiny little hair underneath the clear cut on the bonnet,
Really?
Wow.
and he kicked off of it. He wasn't very happy, and was going to take it back to Land Rover and have it painted. I said, no, don't, please. It'll come back worse than the factory paint. It'll look terrible. So we had to just leave it. Just had to let there's one tiny hair.
He was laying in bed, just going hairs in the bonnet.
Was a little bit of it like poking out the top, just like waving in the wind. That is going to cause that car to rust.
One bit of rust.
Land Rover just planting hairs in each car. Going, right, you'll be back in 20 years.
That's
promise you.
the conspiracy.
Right, now, the question we've been waiting to ask you is, we've kind of spoken about this before, and we said save it for the podcast because we need to talk about this. What is the most disgusting car you've ever had to clean/detail?
Okay, so there's a few, but there's some fairly regular occurrence, which is some vomit, poo. That's some
Classic.
vomit and dog poo, and sometimes dog vomit.
So we've got vomit's one bodily fluid.
Yeah. We have had the unspeakable bodily fluid before,
Of course,
because that's just in every car.
perhaps our limo.
Someone's been clarted in that car, you know. It happens.
Your
But-
meat and two has been meat and twoing in there.
It's in every car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet that makes more sense about Ben's car now.
Hang on, I've never cleaned my Clio's interior.
Get the black light out.
Any socks? Do you ever clean out any sort of crispy socks?
No,
Ben
but
Guns
I've found sex toys in
Oh!
in,
And you've kept
in
those?
glove boxes. Oh yeah.
That's the payment. You go, do you know what, the details free.
Yeah. But the one that sticks out is it was a
So it's a family podcast, Robin. Right?
So there was a BMW, I think it was a 5 Series or 3 Series, I can't remember, this was a long time ago. This is when I was still mobile. And the occupants had been driving to hospital because the lady was on the verge of giving birth.
Oh dear.
Got stuck in traffic. And unfortunately, she gave birth in the car.
Okay.
Or fortunately, depending on
All
how you look at it,
fortunately, yeah, all safe and sound. Baby was
The baby was healthy?
baby was healthy.
This means the baby's healthy.
And they had an ambulance attend, in traffic. And then the lady deteriorated slightly, so they were rushed off to hospital, and the the driver of the BMW followed behind. And the lady wasn't very well for a few days, so the car was left in the hospital car park for, I think, a grand total of just either 4 or 5 days in total.
And what sort of time of year?
This was bang in the middle of summer of 2020.
So
it was
there's baby
Juices.
storage juices.
but she'd been in the car waiting long enough that some of the afters had come out and all the bits. No,
No.
the placenta.
Okay, fair. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I just don't know, biology and stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you have a massive wee after giving birth? Oh, that's better.
Keep pushing. I am.
I don't know if you know, but when you give birth, I didn't realise this until this day, but everything comes out. It's all just everything everywhere.
Okay.
So there's a bit of poo sometimes.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy one from.
Yeah. There's
Whoa.
a lot of pressure backed up there.
That's fair.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what fair?
It's like getting a shot.
It's kind of a miracle. So a little bit of poo is,
Yeah. So
understandable.
that-
so there was a
More TDC out of context. I like that.
Do babies come out covered in poo?
No, Ben, that's
No.
a different. Come on, brother.
It's a different
Yeah,
channel.
but if
there.
you're also, I don't know. Let's quite cars.
Biology lessons with Ben. So there was kind of like everything
Yeah.
in the back of this BMW, and
It was the back seat.
it was the back seat.
Okay.
He was going Uber style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it was left to cook in the car park for 5 days. And during those 5 days, I think it was like 28 to 30 degrees Celsius.
So a real oven in there.
It was
That's
a real
tough.
oven.
Yeah.
And
A
he,
slow cooker.
And yeah,
Cook up another baby. If you
and
want
the chap, really nice guy, but he hadn't left her side for 5 days, so he was in the car park unopened for 5 days. And I remember him calling me from the hospital car park, having Googled sort of valeting services, and this was in
I like that.
this is in Farnborough Hospital, and he said, "This has happened," and I went, "Ooh."
you went, I'm close to date.
I quite like that he
yes.
was Googling. So he's at the bedside.
Yeah.
That's going to be all right. You're going to be fine. But
no.
Then he turns away, looks at his
Gee-
phone and goes, about the interior.
He goes,
My leather seats.
they can do a ceramic ceramic coat at the same time. That's not bad value, actually.
And yeah, I had to clean.
And
some
what,
pretty.
now, hazmat suit?
So, no, I wore some old clothes, but I did wear a face mask and disposable gloves, and I threw the Hoover away after.
Oh,
I threw the vacuum away. Yeah, it was really the smell is something that I will never ever forget.
Oh, there was a gulp there.
Did you charge for the Hoover?
I
Ben asking the real
No,
question.
genuinely. Did you like charge them for a new Hoover? Because that's crazy.
Yeah, so I the Hoover that I use is a Titan. It's like a screw fix one.
Yeah.
And I had this one on Black Friday sale at £44. So I factored that in. It was all right. It wasn't too bad. I didn't feel too unreasonable charging that. So I factored it in, and then I charged on the hourly basis, and I added a bit on because it was a bit of a
Yeah.
no.
that-
The smell. I'm
Yeah,
just.
I'd give anything to go back.
It was so I cannot describe how bad. It's not even like rotting meat. It was like so acrid and putrid, and it was sort of topped with poo.
Was it like a tiramisu?
Man, I love bacon.
Oh,
Tiramisu.
my waiter.
Could you tell me about your specials today?
It's like Gordon Ramsay describing him the dish.
So that was by far the most disgusting.
I went home and had a shower straight away. I couldn't bear to I just felt disgusting. I was just Well.
And so that's the most disgusting.
Yeah.
What about the weirdest? Or something that they basically wanted no questions asked, but from what you could gather.
Okay, so I did find. So when this was booked in, I didn't know that this was the story. But basically, I had a car come in, and he said, "I've got loads of blood in the car." Ooh. I said,
So
okay.
my wife's just given birth.
and I didn't ask any questions. And he said, "I need the interior cleaning because I'm selling it." I went, "Okay, why are you selling it after there's loads of blood in it?" And and all the seats had been cut up, and there was like loads of gash marks in the seats and dents in all the panels and broken glass. And I went, what on earth has happened? And he said, it's easier just for you to explain this. It's a crime scene clean up. And I went, right, but whose crime scene is this?
Yeah.
Are you the police?
Will I now be part of this crime scene?
So I wanted to ask him, like, okay, what's happened here? But I thought, I'll just clean that up, just not ask any questions. That's fine. And then he did. I was really suspicious when he came. I was really worried when he showed up at the workshop. I thought there was going to be something really suspicious, and it showed up with bin bags over the windows. And he showed up wearing a hazmat suit in the car.
Ooh.
Because it had
He
leaked.
drove it there?
He drove it there.
People are looking across.
They'd been.
God.
It's fine. It's getting detailed.
And he showed up in his hazmat suit, and it was like I was thinking, I'm going to get arrested for this. I'm going to be implicated. Yeah. And he explained to me that no, I bought it at Copart.
And
as
a previous crime.
Yeah, and a previous crime thing, and it was supposedly had been cleaned up, but he kept going around it, finding more and more blood and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know what happened to it, but I didn't.
But you got it all clean?
But it was all clean. It was all fine. Yeah, it was a lot of
Air
cleaning.
freshener in the window? You know?
Yeah, for a little hanging air freshener, mate. Yeah. Banana scented.
Happy Trees blood flavour.
The secret ingredient is crime.
Ben, what you got questions?
Why do they sell that to people?
They usually won't. If it's a biohazard,
Yeah.
they will sometimes it will be a car, so they will just go no.
Why
So-
would you buy it? What if?
Because sometimes it's a very good deal because it's just blood and stuff. The car's mechanically perfect.
Yeah, but someone's been killed in that.
But you can
Hey.
chop out the seats.
Well, not necessarily killed.
You
You
don't
might have
know
been
that.
injured.
What about apparitions? I'd be worried about. Haunted car.
Get the Ouija board out while you're on the M4.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'd like a car that's, imagine when you describe a car, we go, oh, this one's crash damaged. You go, oh, kind of fair enough. You go, oh, yeah, sorry, Tupac was murdered in this.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Worth more now though. That car.
Yeah, fair. Also,
Kinda
no one's
crazy.
buying it, though.
No one's buying it.
No
Though.
one's
It's up for
buying
like 5 mil.
Next TDC car.
Is it worse to know what happened? Because I think I'd feel worse if I knew a crime had happened, saw the blood, saw the cut up seats, and then didn't know.
I'd rather
what had-
guess.
Yeah.
No, that's worse because then my mind goes to all kinds of places.
But you can make up your own
But the
story.
bath, so the bath that we bought from Copart that was stolen recovered. What? Because I said bath.
You did say bath.
Kind of crazy.
You didn't say bath.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, go again.
Okay, so the bath that we bought, no idea. That could have been stolen. That could have actually been stolen. Someone could have been running around in that for weeks, just smashing stuff up, doing whatever they wanted. We'll never know.
Murdering.
Yeah.
Like
Pillaging.
the
Eating,
Vikings do.
Topical.
eating ice creams and throwing them in the glove box. That sort of thing.
That's what you're meeting too. But yeah, it's the unknown. We'll never know.
I've just thought of another really horrible one that I had to clean. It was actually it's a really good customer of mine, and he shops at Costco.
Right.
And in Costco, you can buy 1 litre cartons of double cream.
Oh, we can see where this is going.
2 of those in the back of his Range Rover. Both of them went over and both of them burst. And he went all down underneath the boot floor, down the wiring loom, underneath bits. You get panels that are spot welded on.
Yeah.
And then there's like a gap, just a little gap, just a seam, and it all in the seams there and everything. And it went into the boot carpet, literally down the insulation tape around the wiring looms and everything. Everywhere. And he tried to clean out the best bit, the most of it, and then called me up and went, it's just not good enough. I need help. And I was like, okay, I'll come out and sort.
What was the
Cheese.
The
The smell was cheese.
smell was
The smell
and
was,
it wouldn't go away. It was persistent.
It was
cheese.
a very persistent cheese. It
Heat the car up until it all melted.
Put the car in at 180 degrees.
bit of marinara sauce on it, salt and pepper.
And you enjoyed this?
That's a tough question.
But it allows you to buy more Espaces.
It does fund
Fair.
Espaces. Yeah, it's definitely not the most profitable business that I could be running, but I feel like it's a fairly
What's
honest.
the car that you got the most excited about working on or detailing? Sorry.
That's a tough one because it's probably one of my own cars. Actually, when I get the
You know what?
time,
That's so wholesome. That's
Yeah.
that's real. Real recognised real.
when I've bought something that I really want to buy, and I get a day to just
Make it
really nice and really enjoy it. And that was like my SD1. I had a Rover SD1 V8 manual, and I got it for a really, really good price. And I was it was it was the most expensive thing I've ever bought in my entire life. And I got it delivered on a Sunday, and it arrived Sunday morning. And I drove it around the corner. I drove it around the estate. I was like, "Yep, great, cool." And then I went round it after he'd left with my paint depth gauge, and just went, there's no filler here. This is lovely. This is perfect. And then I just washed it and polished it. And then every evening where I'd driven it home and then back to work, every evening after that, I'd just give it a quick wash and a wipe
Once
down.
over.
Just because I was like, oh, this is nice.
That's nice.
That's what I most enjoy. It's just keeping something that's really nice.
Even more nice.
Even more nice, yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Is there a dream car to detail? Is there a car that you go, I want to clean one of those?
Someone bells you up and says it's a McLaren F1 or a Enzo or a what is it? What's the car that you
doesn't feel very Robin.
No, there's nothing. I really
with a 1.9 diesel.
An Espace F1.
Well, that's just that's the dream.
Renault call you up and go,
Can you come?
This has been through the
Renault.
car
Renault
wash.
calls me up and says, "We'd like you to drive to the Matra Museum and clean everything." I'm there.
Would
free?
it be something like that? But it's
Yeah.
a customer that has a car. What's the car that you go? Oh, I've always wanted to do that.
There isn't. There just
There
isn't.
isn't one.
Yeah, there just isn't one. Yeah, I kind of all of the customers' cars. They all kind of blend into one a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get one that stands out because it's something cool and old, or you have a really nice customer that you really get on with, and he'll bring you loads of cars and whatever. And you get on with them. I've got customers that have just turned into like really good friends.
So you prefer the story of each
I
car
prefer the story.
than the car itself.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Because the car that you drove the other day that you said that's your dream car. Now was that related to work, or was that someone you?
No, that wasn't related. No, I just got a message from a guy on Instagram saying, thanks for the Auto Alex detailing tutorial video that I did. And he said, I'm going to use it on some of our cars at work. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay, so I looked on his profile and
There it was. And what was it?
It was a link to his business thing, and I scrolled through. He's got some nice cars, and I looked, and there's this Ferrari 612 Scagliati,
Which is a very left field car. You know what? When you sent me a message about it, I had actually forgotten that they existed.
Until you actually said that again now, I'd forgotten again.
I forgot that they were a thing, but I
mean,
really like them.
Big test drive vibes.
Yeah,
Just
something about is it the lock screen?
Yeah,
Is he in the back
it's-
there?
it's
It is.
the lock screen.
In Tour de France blue as well. Best colour. Oh, here we go. Does it have to be red?
it's got to be red,
Nah,
but it's got to be the dark metallic red. I can't remember the color code.
Not Competizione.
No.
That's Alpha. I can't remember. But you know what? I have a soft spot for those. I'm a
They're-
599 man over 612.
Well, it's the four-seater Ferrari. Therefore,
Yeah.
it is the least desirable of
Of
whatever.
course.
It will always be the one that
Always
costs
got
£8 at some point.
400i vibes.
Yeah. But it's got a good engine.
Yeah.
Wonderful engine. Yeah,
And
really, really good.
and so that is now the one day
That's
money no object. That's what
the
we have.
guy. If one came up for sale on Copart,
Is it happening?
I'm there.
All right, well, I was going to say we're bidding against you, but I don't think we will. We've got an engine to buy for the Jag. Now, also knowing you, you're driving that. You're detailing out of it.
Oh God, yeah, that'll be my van. I
612
would rock.
van.
Yeah, I'd have stickers up the side of it, and I'd just use it every day.
Can you do it in the same? For those that don't know, your Espace is donned in what livery?
It's the Jazz Solo Cup.
So a white Espace with the blue and like purpley.
Yeah,
or
it's like
a
purple
blue-
and teal. Yeah.
like the Solo Cup from the 90s.
Yeah.
If you could do that with this Ferrari, that'd be it.
I'll have to get a white Ferrari.
Yeah, hi, man.
Did they make a white or 612?
I think they probably
must
did,
have
but also Dubai, they're getting
Oh, yeah.
white 612s.
Yeah.
So they get what is yours? Kind of similar, like not money, no object, but you do well.
To clean.
No, to own
Ooh.
car because it's obviously Murcielago, but as we discussed recently, he's gone.
I was talking real.
We're talking like you sell it, you sell the wife and kids.
If
they're all
you
gone.
sold all of your cars and you
I-
had some savings,
You had a windfall,
And you
call
thought-
it 100, 150 grand
maybe
max.
maybe you could get like a little loan that you could afford to repay without too much trouble.
It's incredibly tough because there's too many things.
But right now,
I'm never on. I can't ever choose a car that I could. That's the one I keep forever.
You
call it,
change
what,
cars
call it
more
one
than
of the
pants.
week right now,
Call it
but
one of
it's
the week.
around about, you know,
A Superleggero, a Gallardo Superleggero's up there. Mark 1, Gen 1.
there.
Yeah.
That's up there.
With
but they're-
wing, no wing.
Oh, with a wing, of
With a
course.
wing, good.
With the
I
wang.
like that.
With a wing,
And
that's what makes him super light.
is he Telesto or is he green?
I like Telesto because that's kind of the guy, but also I'd have a yellow one, I'd have a white one, I'd have a
white one's
black
good.
one.
Telesto, for those don't know, that is the grey colour that you see the LP640 from the Dark. Is it the Dark Knight? The
Yes,
Batman
it is, yeah.
movie. The Lamborghini grey.
Yeah.
The
Think of
battleship
2000 and roughly 2010 Lamborghini, and you're there or thereabouts.
That grey.
Yeah. Almost primary grey.
That I like that. This is a good stable because mine would be a Ferrari too. I want the cheapest, tattiest. I want a written off 550 Maranello, and I want to daily it till the day I die.
Oh, 599.
599 is also a great shout.
599 is basically a two-door 612.
But they do look so good.
Do you know what? It's funny that we're discussing this while we got Juiced playing in the background. No one's discussing supercars. We're also going, so the Espace, what are you doing forged rods in there? Or
damn.
the TDC podcast caters to all tastes.
We are all ends.
Shall we do a forum question? Because we've got Robin here.
Yeah, let's
one that, for those that you don't know, or perhaps for Robin yourself, we do a thing every podcast called the forum, where we allow people like yourself listening who might be not as automotively afflicted, or even if you are, to ask us a question. We'll give you a no-holes-barred answer. Benjamin, you potentially just on Candy Crush, or you got...
high score.
Yeah.
No, I was looking for the forum question. Okay, so we have two.
Yeah.
A little and a big one.
If you like to address it to Robin, will answer the question first.
Robin, please answer this question right now. This is
What is your PIN code?
on YouTube. This is from CU Laser.
Hello.
Forum question: where do you stand on respect all builds? Cheers.
Ooh, interesting.
Nah.
Oh, okay. And it's simple as that, or do you have a feeling towards people that talk about it?
Everyone's got to start somewhere, but there is no excuse for a really crap build.
Now
you can do an amazing build for pennies.
Words from my mouth, from my brain even. That's my exact feeling towards it too. Respect all builds is from people that do not want to put the time into learning. Do you know how much learning about what looks good costs you? Nothing. It's time. It's
years.
It's just looking and looking around. Hey, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you have access to the internet. Therefore, you have the ability to understand what looks good.
They could be listening to it on the next person.
If you are listening by the next person, use that person's phone to go on StanceWorks and research cars and things.
I will just say though, every great artist starts with just a pen and paper.
Ooh,
so
philosophy.
Your first car, it might be a terrible build. Your second car, you've learned things.
Absolutely.
Your third car, you might be on StanceWorks.
Yeah. No,
so it takes time. So you've got to be.
I think we said this before. Taste takes years.
It does take years.
You don't come out of the womb with taste.
No.
You have taste buds, just not taste.
I've not gained any taste over the years at all. I've just gotten worse. Still Rovers, people carriers, and anything made of fiberglass.
And you're in.
And I'm in. I'm there.
But yeah, I think anyone, you're allowed to start somewhere, and you're allowed to think that your car is nice. Also, if you are modifying a car, you have at least in my case, you have my respect, because you're taking a chance on doing something more than someone who leaves something standard. But do not expect me to think it's a good car because you've done Maxton design splitters and you've chameleon wrapped your windscreen. It looks like shit. Here's one for you. It looks terrible. But in a year or two, you might go, actually, those are horrible. I'm going to swap that out with something. So it's fine. It's fine that if someone doesn't like it, but they don't have to. I don't have to care about your car. I don't care about your car. It's not nice. It's whack.
We've always felt bad, to be fair. We've spent many years going to car shows. This is before YouTube. We go to car shows and
we just mean
and say quite awful things about it. And the point here is we're never saying it to them. We don't go up to the owner and go, your car is horrible and I think you should change it. It's just, you see a car, you go, your wheels are whack, your fitment's whack, it's too high, the colour's wrong, you've done this.
It'd be nice if you did this.
It sounds dreadful.
Yeah.
Not all at once, maybe, but maybe pick one out of those.
Yeah.
But you just walk around the show and go, and then every now and then you get a little diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
That's perfection. But there's always something you might change. You can have an opinion that's negative about a car.
And equally, we might walk past one car and go, there he is, he's perfect. Rob will walk up and go, no, change this, do this, do this.
That's not a French box.
What is this metal panel of yours here?
Magnets. But yeah, so it is, look, it's the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but also I think your car's rough and I don't care.
I'm not taking this communist approach to car loving.
Also, take your lumps.
Bring back gentle bullying.
Yeah.
A bit of Slamber City.
Bit of
Slamber City.
Yeah. I wouldn't actually call that gentle.
M9.
No, it's brutal.
Ben, you have another for
We have
double whammy.
a bigger one here, which I found quite interesting. A man named Dom on Instagram messaged
Dom,
me,
Mr. Toretto.
and he said,
How does he live his life?
Ben doesn't know who that is.
Fast and Furious?
Ben, do you know how he lives his life?
I do.
How is it?
1,
2,
One-
3.
one race at a time?
Lovely, that's perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not, is it?
No, that's it.
Oh, that actually is it?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay.
Is it? Okay. I watched the
What is it?
film. He lives his life a quarter mile at a time, which I guess so does everyone. Anyone that's driving, they're doing 1/4 mile at a time.
Yeah, fair.
Unless they're very close to work.
Anyway, Dom has asked a question. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, Dom.
All right, Ben. Kind of crazy.
He has said, "I work on £10 million aircraft engines and don't
mate.
really bat an eyelid."
Cool
Number
story,
one,
bro.
kind of cool. Can you fit one in my Clio? When it comes to my car, though, I'm a bit nervous on what to do. My question is, what value of car would you start to feel a bit uneasy working on?
That's
Okay.
actually, for Robin especially, because you are, I mean, again, they're paying you, but still, if someone, what is the most expensive car you've ever had to, roughly, to work on?
I'm legally
Espace.
bound by a contract not to disclose what car it is or whose car it is.
Oh, now this is
okay.
up our alley. Because
much is that?
Can you can neither confirm nor deny?
I can neither confirm nor
but
deny.
Can you give us a couple of hints?
I have to be really careful with
Of
this.
course.
Really
Please
careful.
protect your business
I will
first.
protect my business. I know it was worth circa 3 to 4 million.
Okay, and is it old?
It could be.
Okay,
I
great.
don't like that answer.
Is it? When I say that, I mean it's not a modern car.
It's not a modern car.
Okay, so it's a money era car.
It is an older
Is it
car.
Okay,
60s
okay.
to 70s?
I can't answer that question.
Great.
This is really
I'm
annoying.
I'm thinking back to the contract that I signed now. And
No, we don't. To be honest, it's an old money car. That's kind of all we need to know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's going to be,
Old-
an XKSS. It's going to be a Ferrari alloy body type
It's
guy.
going to be a 250
It's an
GTO,
old car
or is
with-
it?
Yeah, and when you said it was that 250 GTO, that's what the point was. No.
But did you feel any kind of, was it a scarier job doing that than an Espace?
showing up to the job was scarier than doing it.
Okay.
Because I got full pocket search and everything, and my phone was taken off of me, so no photography, no contact
They
with the
picked
outside
up the
world.
DA and went, "You don't need this.
Yeah.
Put this away."
It's just got a camera in
Do
it.
it by hand.
He's got a weapon!
And yes, it was really high, and I had a security guard with me for most of the day as well. It was a bit. I felt more threatened by that than actually worrying about the car itself.
But
Because it's
is-
all just paint and wheels.
I was going to say, but is that also because you basically take the same approach and not love and care, but you know what I mean, to basically every car?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's all paint and wheels. If you want your car looking good, it's the same approach pretty much to everything. It's just variants of what you do and what you use.
Interesting. And then working on cars, like personal ones, do you take more care of what, like, let's say if it's one of the banger Espaces, let's call them that, are you any less gentle with stuff?
If I know that the paint on it is shagged, I'm not.
I mean, even working on it, just doing mechanical stuff.
Oh no! I mean, on my own cars, I'm fastidious.
Okay.
I take the most care possible with my own cars because I know that I've got to rely on that car because it's usually my only working car at that point if I'm fixing something terrible.
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I'm very. I'd say I'm very cautious but confident with in my both mechanical and with detailing.
See, mine, I don't think value has anything to do with mine. I think when I bought the M3, which was the first car value I ever had, I was scared because I was like, oh, I don't want to lose money. But I think for me, it's more how long I've known the car. If I've like the MX-5, like when we're working on that here, I'm whizzing bolts out. Like I know I've only put that bolt in half tight, so I'm getting them out straight. No, I'm just going. I don't care. I know that I can fix it because I know every single bolt. I know that if I break this bolt, I can take the subframe out and I can access it. It's fine. But whereas our project car, which we were working on recently, I was scared on that. Which, by the way, sorry, quick aside, the project car we keep mentioning, our new secret project car, you're not going to see that now for a very long time because the exact thing that we thought would happen has happened. That car's not going to be back with us until the end of the year. So we're not trying to hide it from you or
News
keep
to me.
it secret.
I
Huh?
didn't know that either.
No, you didn't?
No.
Yeah, no, it's
It's gone for a while.
He will be gone for a while because he needs a lot of work that we cannot do.
Sure.
So it will probably be August, September. Don't want to put any,
Sad times.
exact dates on it.
See you in a year.
So yeah, just put him out of your mind.
Yeah.
But
Forget
don't
about
worry, he's coming. A new project build is coming.
will be
But yeah,
coming.
that's my thing is how long I known it. I
Yeah.
will be different.
I think value must come into it, but we kind of said this earlier. It's value depends how much money you have, really.
Of course.
a millionaire probably isn't going to be working on a car, if I'm honest.
Just got to do brakes on a course.
But let's say you are comfortable. You're probably not going to be that bothered by messing something up.
Yeah.
I would say that not even a rule, but like if it's below like $5,000, but then it depends entirely on the car. Like that XFR, $6,500. and it kind of scares me.
Oh,
to work
when we
on
took that apart, I was worried.
I think it's more to do less value, more complexity,
Absolutely.
and sort of like scarcity of parts, or if you know that there are no more parts available, or that the part you're taking off costs 10 grand or 5 grand or whatever it is, then you are going to be more scared of shearing a bolt, of scratching it, breaking it, doing whatever.
I had that with my SD1. It was such a nice car, and I blew the engine up.
Nice.
And I was mortified.
A Rover V8?
Yeah.
You blew the engine up?
Yeah.
Surely, I've never heard of that.
They never do that. Bottom ends never go. And I killed it. So I forked out for a really nice rebuilt engine, and I repainted parts of the engine bay, and I cleaned the gearbox, and I put a new clutch on it, and it took it from like a 9 out of 10 to like the full 11.
Yeah.
And I was so happy with it, and then I was so happy with it that I sold it because I couldn't leave it anywhere.
Yeah, because you get worried about
I was getting worried about it, and I had a tracker on it as well. I fitted a tracker to it to watch where, just in case.
Yeah.
It was the most expensive thing ever for me. And I'd be just going around the shops and just check the tracker quick. Is it still there? Is it gone anywhere? Or I get a notification on my phone and go, no, not the car.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it, so I sold it.
Oh yeah, what's the adage? Don't let your things own you, because it will get that way.
Yeah, I did that, and then I bought a rotten diesel Volkswagen recovery truck.
The natural next step.
Yeah.
But
had a big turbo on it.
I was going to say the same thing. The 8 Series. The 8 Series is an E36. Every single trim bit, they're all the same plastics made in the same factory. An E36, I'll tear that down in 20 minutes. Whole thing done. The 8 Series, I'm putting tape over trims because I know if I break it, some guy wants 400 quid for that trim.
Yeah.
It's not 20 quid to my local drifter to buy an entire interior who's going, that's chuck going in the bin. So yeah, it's scarcity as well.
It's like affordability is a part of it, but a lot of it is this
The rarity.
the knowledge as well. If you have no knowledge on something and you break it, then you find out, this is going to cost me millions.
Like the Jag XFR engine, we didn't know.
much like the time.
How much are they?
Cheap though.
They're really cheap. Yeah. How much
Well,
are
the
they?
car was
Oh,
6.5
just
grand.
the
and
same car.
The
The
engine's
engine's
about 6.5 grand.
Yeah,
Bargain.
that makes sense.
So that's quite a simple job to do.
Yeah, you can do that in 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we will. Ben's going to do it actually.
Just on his own.
yeah.
24 hours.
Then
New
if you can do it in
challenge.
24 hours, you can keep the car.
Oh,
Now
he's thinking about it.
I can't insure it, and I'd probably crash it.
You could sell it though.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Buy
I think
a PMS shifter or an air fryer.
perhaps a very big air fryer for that.
That's a lovely.
That's
air
the ultimate air fryer.
Isn't that just an oven?
Yes.
Wow. I never thought about it that way. Should we end on a conspiracy?
I think a conspiracy would be good.
I love that. I love to see that. So
I like the Conspiracies.
you like the
I
conspiracies?
really do.
Okay,
I
good.
am also a creamer.
The creamer and the
surely not.
conspiracist.
Yep.
And then do you
Yeah.
like the podcast as well?
Yeah.
The creamer thing is quite.
Oh, is Ben pulling up with the?
Are we coming out? That's just
There it
not
is.
Ben's voice.
Look at the smile on his face. He's got
so
Part of it is I love how much Edwin hates it.
I actually don't hate it as much as I did at the beginning.
Oh, that's nice
I'm
to
coming
hear.
round to it. As a
Changing it.
creamer, I'm coming round.
Fellow creamer.
A fellow creamer.
I have two, once again.
Here we go.
The rules do not apply anymore to this podcast. I'm
Sure.
finding as
Okay.
many as I find. This is from the Shavy on Spotify. Conspiracy for you lads and fellow creamers.
God.
Car manufacturers are reducing the amount of drivers' cars because they all secretly have large stocks in aftermarket companies, pushing us to buy from third party, making them money and not having to put in any effort.
So wait, hold on. So big tinfoil hat energy.
Yeah,
we
huge
do need to get
tinfoil
some tinfoil hat. We will get those. Still trying to find a supplier to supply the actual just full tinfoil
How
hat.
do they make a tinfoil hat?
Wish I knew. But secondly, they're saying that manufacturers aren't making.
So manufacturers are not making performance cars
Yeah.
because they can make a normal car and then they know that you will go out and buy bits for it and fun bits, and secretly they have stocks in those companies.
but then
Wait, so you're telling me big BMW, you know?
yeah.
Yep.
I've got like a share in K&N,
But-
H&R,
You said it, not me.
But I would argue that
Mishimoto.
I would argue that people modify performance cars more than they modify non-performance cars.
Yeah, but imagine making a really average performance car.
Oh, they're saying they're making them not as good as they could
Sure.
be.
Are we talking about? But then I think you're talking about too big of a thing. Like we're talking about manuals. Like these cars are now auto, and people want a manual. Like they're not getting anything about the manual swap.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about air filters and turbos and body
Yeah.
kits and whatever else.
Yeah, mods.
I don't like it.
No,
I believe it.
It's far.
you believe.
I
it.
believe that.
Wow.
That's smart.
Okay.
That is
But I
actual
don't-
proper
I don't
full
think
brain
there's-
activity.
There's really
then-
any money in that.
Yeah,
though.
but then it would explain why you can just put like a remap on a modern car and it's like a billion horsepower,
But then-
and it's just fine.
But then why
But
do
then the
some
remap-
manufacturers lock ECUs? Surely they want
Because then they can pay another man in Switzerland. They also have invested in it.
he's in Finland.
And
actually.
is it the only guy?
He's the only
Who's
guy.
invested in that guy?
Who's
Big
investigating
BMW.
him?
Exactly.
Big BMW's invested in the Finnish
Perhaps
guy.
perhaps it's actually BMW.
Do you know who
You
he
send
needs?
it to Finland, and then it forwards it back to the BMW factory, and Hans fixes it.
Is there a part of Germany called Finland? We must find out.
it's actually a man
Called Finn.
As Finlander.
Finland at BMW.com.
We need Peter from TRS.
He needs to.
Surely he is a mapper and a tuner and whatever other
Is he?
things.
But,
Is he big? Is
but-
he big tune?
but Big Tune is going to put the screws on him and say, "Don't say anything." Big,
Don't you think it's...
Say a damn word.
Big DCT came down on him hard for that video. we made. They went, "Do not post that again."
Is he the only man, though, that can make a DCT? M6. And why is that?
Hold
Because
on.
BMW.
Hold on, you're just casting doubt on our friend Peter. Ben,
No, I like
that's
Peter.
not like you, mate.
I like Peter.
P money,
But
no way.
you never really know anyone. And I think Big Car has paid Peter to do big mods. And in return...
I don't buy this conspiracy at all. You know, this feels like huge
Now-
high on something.
Now hold on.
Energy.
Now hold on, because we may have an imposter among us. Because who's making the paint pad to support the detailing
Oh, yeah,
economy?
we were just talking about brand new car details.
Big Detail might be in the back of. Well, sorry, Robin might be in the back pocket of Big Detail.
What was the NDA you were talking about as well?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Can't talk about that.
Robin's like, puts his hand in. What's that? Okay.
A red dot appears.
Well, what are those red dots on all these cameras?
No, I don't buy it. I don't like it.
I buy it.
I like it. I like the tinfoil hat.
It's,
that's giving me large tinfoil hat energy.
Should we vote?
I'm saying myth busted.
So, you believe it?
No.
Okay, so that's 2 for no, 1 for yeah, Robin.
Rubbish.
Okay.
Oh, tough.
So
You believe
unfortunately
it? But
not.
you have a backup.
We have a second... Oh, if you could.
Mr. President, there has been a second Conspiracy.
This is from JDP on YouTube. Racing games were pushed and funded by big oil companies to turn people into petrol heads and increase profits.
Now that I like.
Oh, now
this I like.
Well, that's
telling me-
definitely happened because I was playing. I was playing this before
I like that.
Big Car.
Really?
Yeah,
And
I had
how much did BP pay you?
I have an NDA
for that
as
oil
well.
spill.
Another one.
Could you detail a seagull that's been in the BP oil spill?
Big snow foam.
Big snow foam on that seagull. It's
so make note for next time.
Snow
Now-
foam the beach. Yeah.
No, I'm liking this one a lot because
It feels far fetched, but it may maybe.
because who's your best customer? The customer that doesn't know they're a customer yet. You know what?
yeah, you're
I'm
breeding them.
I'm buying cars because I play them in games.
Fair.
That's what I want.
That's fair.
Now I guess it only benefits I guess it would benefit the fuel companies because they know you're going to be driving.
Yeah.
But how many people?
But are they saying that you're then buying more fuel than if you just been
No.
normal?
Well, maybe
they're
because you're
making sure that you get a license
and you're,
'Cause
you're
a car
driving quickly on the games and you want that in real life, burning more fuel, needing more services, making the money in their
More
back pocket
speeding
and Robin's
tickets
because
and
he's part of
more
BP.
insurance. So we're saying insurance companies, the police, the government, Robin,
Yeah.
BMW, Peter, they're all in.
They're all in.
They're all in on it,
Trying to-
profiteering off of car people.
trying to make us drive.
They're just trying to make us drive, have fun, buy car parts we want, and enjoy our lives.
While they
These
sit back
bastards.
in their golden armchairs
Well, Robin sits back in this leather armchair.
in his leather Espace chair.
he rocked up in an MG today, and actually, he's going to go home and get in an Escalade. Not an Escalade.
An S-Class?
I was
An S-Class. That's it.
No, I'd probably take the Cullinan home tonight.
No,
Do you know what?
I like it, though. I do like it. I like the idea of BP just approaching,
I could see it.
Like
Well,
EA.
also, yeah, but companies like that, BP, Shell, going, let's start them with the 206 in the underground. Let's start them on that. I think that's the way in, and then they'll level up to maybe they'll get the Tiburon, the what's called the
That's why
Hyundai Coupe.
there's no diesels in games. Apart from Gran
Huge.
Turismo, actually.
Yeah, true. The 118D.
Yeah.
They just have that in there. They had to. They can't get their cover blown.
So it's big petrol, not big diesel.
Yeah,
But they're the same thing.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. It's a good point.
but there must be a divide somewhere in there.
Different
There's
boiling
two teams.
points.
It's like a sales team on the board. They're like, right, petrol's up this
Well,
week.
they're trying to push 99, and they
Yeah,
know the only way they're
99.
going to sell that is selling to car people,
Selling
like
to
car people.
And then they make petrol cheaper than diesel to entice even further.
Oh,
You know what? We've got this cracked. If
This-
we go missing,
this is big.
We're about to get awarded the highest honour in Conspiracies.
I think we've blown this case wide open.
me to my gearbox for the third time.
So, plausible?
I'm calling it plausible,
It's far-fetched. It's no less far-fetched than the previous conspiracy.
but I like it.
But I
So
kind of want to believe it. I also don't want to believe it because it means, that it's just big oil is profiting off me.
Well, you do buy petrol.
Yeah, fair.
you wouldn't have got my money unless I played Need for Speed. That is like you work for us.
Yeah.
I pay your taxes.
Yeah.
So, too plausible, Robin?
I mean, as Big BP myself, I can confirm it's definitely true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Nice.
As Robin, plausible, definitely.
That's a full house. I also think it's plausible.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I mean,
Lovely to see.
I mean, who here didn't play video games? Like car video
Well,
games.
Ben didn't really.
Sorry, what? Need
No,
to be
but-
2012?
Sorry, Need for Speed 2012 was his first Need for Speed. Just want you to know that.
What, you like 14 or something?
I would have been 10 at the time.
That's tough.
10?
That's
That's
tough to
Yeah,
see.
2012.
That's older than I thought, actually.
Oh, thanks.
The,
Last week.
Let us know. We love the Conspiracies, so let us know some more Conspiracies in the comments. Ones that maybe you've always thought maybe they're plausible, maybe they're not. And before we end, Robin, where do people find you? Where do people find your business? Where do they see what you're doing?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's at Viking_detail. And if you want some more like tap car content and Espace stuff, it's at Espace Whisperer.
Lovely.
It's a good name.
It is a good name. Right. Thank you very much for listening to the Cars Rule Everything Around Me podcast. We will be back next week. Should be. And always remember that Cars Rule Everything Around Me. Cream get the money. Say the line.
$dollar bill, y'all.
Lovely.
See
Goodbye.
the creamers next week.